Welcome to the How-To Factory, the channel where we reveal how some of the most beloved foods are made. Juicy, flavorful, and protein-packed plant-based meat is revolutionizing the food industry. Designed to look, cook, and taste like real meat, it's used in everything from burgers and sausages to meatballs and stir-fries. Whether grilled, pan-fried, or slow-cooked, plant-based meat is now a go-to option for vegetarians, vegans, and even meat eaters looking for a more sustainable choice. But have you ever wondered how these meat alternatives are actually made? Today we're taking you through the fascinating process of turning simple plant ingredients into a satisfying, meaty product. The concept of plant-based meat isn't new. Meat substitutes date back thousands of years. Buddhist monks in China used tofu and wheat gluten, known as seitan, as early as the 6th century. In the 20th century, soy-based products became popular, leading to the development of textured vegetable protein. But it wasn't until the 21st century that food scientists and chefs, using cutting-edge technology, were able to create plant-based meat that closely mimics the texture, taste, and juiciness of real meat. By the way, if you love learning how everyday foods are made, consider subscribing to the channel. We post videos just like this every week, and your support helps us a lot. The process of making plant-based meat begins with protein extraction. The primary protein sources, typically soy, peas, wheat, or even fungi, are carefully selected for their texture and nutritional content. These raw ingredients arrive at the factory in large batches, where they are thoroughly cleaned to remove any debris, ensuring that only pure, high-quality plant material is used. Next, the protein is processed into a fine flour. This is done by drying the plant material and milling it into a powder. The flour is then sifted and refined, removing excess fiber and other components that aren't needed for meat production. This results in a highly concentrated protein base, which is then stored in silos, ready for the next stage. Now comes one of the most crucial steps: texturization. To replicate the fibrous nature of animal meat, the protein flour is combined with water and carefully selected plant-based fats like coconut or sunflower oil. This mixture is then fed into an extrusion machine, a powerful device that applies heat, pressure, and mechanical shear to stretch and align the proteins. This process transforms the protein mixture into a fibrous meat-like structure, closely resembling the muscle fibers found in beef, chicken, or pork. The extruded protein is then cooled and cut into different shapes, depending on the final product. Some are sliced into strips for plant-based chicken, while others are ground into crumbles for burger patties or sausages. The texture is carefully controlled to ensure the right level of chewiness, juiciness, and bite. But what about flavor? That's where food science comes in. To give plant-based meat its characteristic taste, the textured protein is mixed with a blend of natural seasonings, yeast extracts, and vegetable-based heme, an iron-containing compound that gives real meat its distinct flavor. Some companies even use beet juice or apple extract to mimic the appearance of raw meat, creating that signature pink hue before cooking. Once the flavors are locked in, the plant-based meat moves to the forming stage. Depending on the product, the mixture is shaped into patties, sausages, nuggets, or even steak-like cuts. These shapes are then lightly pre-cooked, grilled, or seared to create a realistic surface texture and develop a rich, umami-packed taste. The final step is packaging. The plant-based meat products are quickly chilled or frozen to maintain freshness and extend shelf life. They are then vacuum sealed or packed in trays before being shipped to grocery stores, restaurants, and food service providers worldwide. The result? A sustainable, high-protein, meat-like alternative that's better for the planet without compromising taste. With demand skyrocketing, Plant-based meat is becoming a staple in diets across the globe, proving that the future of food might not require animals at all. So, the next time you cook up a plant-based burger or toss plant-based chicken into your stir-fry, you'll know precisely how these incredible products are made. Crunchy, tangy, and packed with flavor, pickles have been a staple in cuisines worldwide for thousands of years. Whether served on burgers, chopped into relish, or eaten straight out of the jar, these brined cucumbers offer the perfect balance of sour, salty, and sometimes even sweet flavors. But have you ever wondered how pickles are made on a large scale? Today, we're taking you through the fascinating process of turning fresh cucumbers into the pickles you love. Pickling is one of the oldest food preservation methods, dating back over 4,000 years. Ancient Mesopotamians are believed to have been the first to preserve cucumbers in brine, and the process quickly spread across civilizations. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs enjoyed pickles, while in Rome, they were prized for their supposed health benefits. Over the centuries, different cultures developed their own variations. India's spicy pickles, Korea's kimchi, and Germany's beloved sauerkraut all stem from the same basic principle of preserving vegetables in a salty or acidic solution. By the way, if you love learning how everyday foods are made, consider subscribing to the channel. We post videos just like this every week, and your support helps us a lot. The journey of a pickle begins long before it reaches the jar. Cucumbers are carefully selected based on their size, shape, and skin texture. Most pickles are made from a special variety called pickling cucumbers, which are smaller, have thinner skin, and contain fewer seeds than those typically found in salads. These cucumbers are grown on large farms and harvested at peak freshness to ensure they remain crisp throughout the pickling process. Once harvested, the cucumbers are transported to the factory and undergo a thorough cleaning. They're washed in large water tanks with rotating brushes to remove any dirt, debris, or pesticides. After this, they pass through a sorting line, where any cucumbers that don't meet the quality standards are removed. Only the firmest, freshest cucumbers make it to the next step. Now, it's time for the brine. The brining process is what transforms a simple cucumber into a flavorful pickle. There are two main methods used in factories: quick pickling and fermentation. In quick pickling, also known as fresh pack pickling, cucumbers are placed into jars or large vats and covered with a mixture of vinegar, water, salt, and various seasonings like dill, garlic, mustard seeds, and even a touch of sugar for balance. The acidity from the vinegar acts as a preservative, giving the pickles their signature tangy taste. This method is the fastest, allowing pickles to be ready for packaging within just a few days. Fermented pickles, on the other hand, take a more traditional approach. Instead of vinegar, the cucumbers are submerged in a saltwater brine and left to ferment naturally. Over time, beneficial bacteria break down sugars in the cucumbers, creating lactic acid that gives the pickles their signature sourness. This fermentation process can take several weeks, resulting in a more complex, tangy flavor often found in classic kosher dill pickles. Regardless of the method, the pickles are carefully monitored to ensure consistency. Large-scale factories use advanced technology to track the pH levels, salt concentration, and brine temperature, ensuring every batch turns out perfectly. Once the pickling process is complete, it's time for packaging. The pickles are drained, inspected, and sometimes sliced into spears, chips, or sandwich slices before being packed into glass jars or plastic containers. A final brine solution is added, and the jars are sealed using a high-temperature vacuum sealing process that locks in freshness and prevents contamination. The finished pickles are labeled, boxed, and shipped to grocery stores, restaurants, and delis worldwide. The entire process, from farm to factory to your plate, ensures that every pickle is crisp, flavorful, and ready to be enjoyed. So, the next time you bite into a crunchy dill pickle, you'll know exactly what went into making it. Let's dive into tofu. A plant-based protein celebrated for its versatility. From stir-fries to smoothies, tofu's ability to absorb flavors and adapt to various dishes makes it a favorite in kitchens worldwide. But how does this humble ingredient go from soybeans to the block you see on store shelves? Let's look at how tofu is made in a factory. Tofu, also known as bean curd, has a history that dates back over 2,000 years to ancient China. Legend has it that it was accidentally discovered when soy milk was mixed with a coagulant. Over time, tofu spread to other parts of Asia, becoming a key ingredient in Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Southeast Asian cuisines. Today, tofu is celebrated worldwide for its mild flavor, high protein content, and versatility in both sweet and savory dishes. By the way, I post videos on how food is made every week. If that sounds like your kind of thing, please consider subscribing. It really helps a lot. The tofu making process begins with selecting high-quality soybeans. Factories source these beans from trusted suppliers to ensure consistency in size, texture, and flavor. Once the soybeans arrive, they are carefully cleaned to remove dirt, debris, and impurities. This is typically done using advanced cleaning systems that rinse the beans thoroughly with water and separate any unwanted particles. After cleaning, the soybeans are soaked in large water tanks for several hours. This softens the beans, making them easier to process and extract nutrients. Once fully hydrated, the beans are drained and transferred to industrial grinders. These machines crush the soybeans into a fine pulp, mixing them with water to create a raw soy slurry. This slurry is the foundation of tofu and contains the protein-rich liquid needed for the next steps. The soy slurry is pumped into large heating tanks and cooked at precise temperatures. This step helps sterilize the mixture and enhances its flavor. Once cooked, the slurry is passed through fine mesh filters to separate the solid soybean pulp, called okara, from the liquid soy milk. Factories often repurpose the okara for animal feed or other food products to reduce waste. The filtered soy milk is now ready for coagulation, a crucial step in tofu production. Coagulants like calcium sulfate or magnesium chloride are added to the soy milk to curdle it, much like how cheese is made from milk. The coagulant causes the proteins and fats in the soy milk to clump together, forming curds. This process is closely monitored to ensure the right texture and consistency. The soy curds are carefully ladled into molds lined with cheesecloth. These molds shape the tofu into the familiar rectangular blocks. Once the curds are in place, hydraulic or mechanical presses remove excess water from the tofu. The level of pressing determines the firmness of the tofu, with less pressing resulting in soft tofu, and more pressing creating firm or extra firm varieties. After pressing, the tofu blocks are cooled in large, chilled water tanks. This step helps the tofu maintain its shape and improve its texture. Once cooled, the tofu is removed from the molds and sent to automated cutting machines. These machines slice the tofu into uniform pieces, ready for packaging. The tofu is packaged in airtight containers to preserve its freshness. Many factories add water to the packaging to keep the tofu hydrated during transport and storage. Each package contains nutritional information, expiration dates, and storage instructions. Finally, the tofu is packed into boxes and shipped to grocery stores, restaurants, and distributors worldwide. And there you have it, the journey of tofu from humble soybeans to the versatile ingredient we know and love. From soaking and grinding to pressing and packaging, Every step in the process is designed to deliver a product that is fresh, nutritious, and ready to transform your meals. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of tofu, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating how-to videos. Let's dive into the world of wasabi, the pungent green paste that's a staple in Japanese cuisine. Known for its sharp kick and unique flavor, wasabi adds flair to sushi, sashimi, and many other dishes. But how does this fiery condiment go from plant to paste? Let's look at how wasabi is made in a factory. Wasabi has been a part of Japanese culinary tradition for centuries, dating back to the 10th century. It comes from the wasabi plant, Wasabia japonica, a root vegetable that thrives in cold running water and shaded environments. Initially prized for its antibacterial properties, wasabi became a natural pairing with raw fish to enhance flavor and reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. Today, authentic wasabi is still grown in specific regions of Japan. Still, due to its delicate cultivation process, most of the wasabi sold worldwide is a mixture of horseradish, mustard, and food coloring. However, authentic wasabi remains a sought-after delicacy. The journey begins with sourcing high-quality wasabi rhizomes, the underground stem of the wasabi plant. Authentic wasabi is carefully grown in pristine conditions, typically in regions like Shizuoka or Nagano in Japan, where the plant thrives in mineral-rich spring water. Farmers harvest the rhizomes by hand to ensure the plants remain intact. Once harvested, the rhizomes are inspected for size, color, and overall quality before being sent to the factory. The wasabi rhizomes are cleaned thoroughly to remove dirt and debris from the harvesting process at the factory. This step involves rinsing them with cold water and gently scrubbing them to avoid damaging the delicate outer layer. Once cleaned, workers or automated machines peel the rhizomes to prepare them for processing. The peeling process helps reveal the bright green interior, which is the source of wasabi's signature flavor. Traditional wasabi is grated to release its potent flavor. In factories, this process is scaled up using specialized grating machines that mimic traditional wasabi graters' fine, circular motion. The machines carefully grate the wasabi rhizomes into a smooth, fine paste. This step must be done quickly to preserve the wasabi's freshness, as the distinctive aroma and flavor fade shortly after grating. For mass production, especially outside of Japan, many wasabi products are blended with horseradish, mustard, and other ingredients to replicate the flavor of authentic wasabi. The grated wasabi or substitute ingredients are mixed in industrial blenders for consistent texture and taste. Natural or artificial green food coloring is often added to enhance the visual appeal. The recipe is carefully calibrated to maintain a balance of heat and flavor consumers expect. To ensure food safety, the wasabi paste undergoes pasteurization. This involves heating the product to eliminate any bacteria while preserving its flavor and texture. After pasteurization, the wasabi is cooled and sent for quality control. Samples are tested for taste, color, and consistency. Authentic wasabi batches are checked for purity, while blended wasabi is evaluated to ensure it meets flavor standards. Additionally, factories check for allergens and contaminants to guarantee a safe product for consumers. Once the wasabi passes all quality checks, it's time for packaging. The paste is transferred into sterile containers filled with precision to ensure uniformity. Automated machines fill and seal the tubes of wasabi to keep the product fresh. Labels are then applied, detailing the ingredients, nutritional information, and expiration dates. Finally, the packaged wasabi is boxed and prepared for shipping to stores and restaurants worldwide. And there you have it, the journey of wasabi from a delicate rhizome to the bold condiment that enhances our favorite dishes. Whether authentic wasabi or a blend, the process combines tradition, precision, and modern techniques to deliver that unmistakable heat and flavor. If you enjoyed this deep dive into how wasabi is made, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more behind-the-scenes insights. Got a product you're curious about? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching The How-To Factory.